So one thing that I've noticed through doing these interviews is a lot of men stand in front of my camera and they portray themselves to be something. And then when the interviews get out there, people actually know them that watch the interviews, and they put in the comments that the person ain't who they portray to be. So we're asking you, when you sit down here now, what you're telling us, is it all facts? Are you a man who's on a positive mission? Or have you still got rolled in you, but you're sitting here telling us you're about helping the youths and promoting your book?
Yeah, I've got a criminal mind still, yeah, but sometimes I do think about, right about now this book thing's getting a bit long, but it's just been going so good, like I can't come off this road, innit? And I just got too much people looking up to me now. I've got a lot of respect, heard a few haters as well, but that's the least. So yeah.
In the day, you was one of the best MCs to do it. What we want to know is why you let the roads and drugs mess that all up.
Greed, envy, red eye. Saw everyone else out there doing their thing on road, making their money, and the DJ thing, we just done it as a hobby as youths growing up. So when we was interested about money, and then basically when money and drugs came into the thing, I forgot about my thing and wanted to make money now. If I stuck with it, man would have blown, but man didn't stick with it, and the roadside just got man.
You tell us, why should we buy your book?
Alright, basically my books are like, they're to raise hope, innit? One of the reasons why I wrote my book, because addiction is a big thing, and I'm trying to show people, like, no matter how long you've been on the drugs, like, they're never, when you've been doing something for half your life, you start to think, I'm never going to be able to get off these drugs. And I'm trying to show people that you can get off these drugs, because I'm the living proof. Like, I didn't just burn a little bit. I'm not saying like in no bragging way. I used to burn like every day, like wake up in the morning, that's the first thing I do. Like I will sleep for like all 48 hours, because I've been up for like 76 hours non-stop doing madness. So yeah, so just show man that no matter how far you are and think say you cannot get off the drugs, you can get off the drugs. And it's not just like crack. If you're going through any form of addiction, my books are to show people that you can get over your addiction and you can turn it around.
To do these interviews, I have to have connection with people that know Sherlock. So I'm going around asking people what's good with it. They're telling me that there was never a time when they could see Sherlock on road and he looked like he was a crackhead. So I'm asking you, are you just putting that in the book to get sales, or you really officially was out here as a crackhead?
Right, very mad question that. Right, basically, yeah, is what you want to call a crackhead, innit? Some man call a crackhead the man who's on street, begging money, didn't bathe, smelled, maybe even got seen taking stuff out of a bin, stealing stuff in shops, like little petty things, you know, like kitties when they're out there, they were teeth, soap powder, razor blades, things what people always want on a regular basis. They know they can go into the shops, they go into the barber shops, they can sell all their stuff there. That was never me, innit? I didn't smoke in front of people. When I'm smoking, I I hide and smoke. I don't want no one to know that I'm smoking crack. A lot of the time I've got a mask on. Like, you see, as I'm sitting here now in a vest, you would have never got me sitting in a vest like when I was smoking. Because them time their man was tinged off. But no, ain't looking at my face or that I've lost weight. They're just looking at what I've got on. They're hearing my phone ringing all the time, and I'm always driving a nice rental. It looks like everything is rosy, and that is how I've got myself into so much debt. Because the people them who are owed money, they wouldn't see me as like, I can't give him no more food. They look, when they saw me, they look and see hope, like he can still make it back though. Or I'll be talking with them about what situation's going on, and then I say, let me just clean up myself for a bit, and then drop me some food. And they give me back some food, and I'll start running it again and shotting it until it messes up again. But I just kept myself clean.
let's get into the books. Obviously 2 of them are out here. They're called Different. You tell us, what is different about your books?
Alright, basically, the name Different, it came from when I was smuggling. Basically, I remember after I got caught the first time, I went on a move about 5 years later, and the yard was I stayed in a villa, and it was like, you know, you watch them documentaries on telly and they show be a mules in the house, and basically I was one of the mules them in the house. But cut a long story short, people were leaving one by one, but no one wasn't getting through. For some reason or another, one man left, he got criminal record, he had a warrant out for his arrest, so as he reached here, he just got yam anyway, then they found the food after. Next man went to go and check his people, them never come back. Next girl, at the last minute, the man then said, no, we can't use her, she looks too nervous. It was just like, and I can see the man that I'm working with now, they're getting a bit like, come on man, no one ain't getting through. So boom, it was my time now, and I must have done a move, left with about £45 worth of weed, and I got through. So, I was smoking, kind of messed that money up kind of quick, didn't want no one to know I'd messed up my money so quick, so I went back and done the next move. After that move there, done the same thing, messed up my money quick again, and then they mentioned about a next move, what was going on, but it was Colombia. So cut a long story short, I went Colombia, and because I was going through all the time, the man them said, yeah, Sample, but he had a brethren called Sample, and he said, nah, he had Different. So he gave me the name Different. So anyway, we was in Brazil and Colombia in this for about 3 months. So when I was in Brazil, I got this tattoo, we all got different tattoos. So I got the tattoo on my arm Different, and that was like, over there they speak Portuguese, the odd word. We had our little translators and that, and no one didn't know of Junior, no one didn't know Sherlock. In Brazil, I was known as Different. So that's where the name Different come from. '99 or them time there. And I'm going for a madness right about now, and I've got this £9 off somebody, and basically every time I shot something, I go and buy food and bun. The food that I was buying as well was some proper shit, bruv. And it was turning me loopy, like, I was getting into mad arguments with my girl on the phone, I hadn't seen her, I couldn't see her in the state I was. It got, sometimes I'm bunning, and I go to certain little parks and sit down on the bench. I was that prang, although it was winter time as well, it was about maybe 4 in the afternoon, and I was at St James's Park in Victoria bunning. What the fuck am I doing up there in the park bunning? Prang, in the cold, everything, and I can't even bun properly in the park because every minute I'm looking around thinking like, is anyone watching me? Raw, I've got to be a decent amount away from people because I don't want them to smell it. Now this St James's right beside Scotland Yard. They're just dumb. I don't know how I ended up there.
Hey everyone, I'd just like to give my personal critique and review of Sherlock's books. I'd like to say that I felt that the format in which he's written the books is in a language that, you know, people like myself and himself, you know, can understand. I felt it pulled the layers back behind somebody's life in that game, not just on the emotional side, but you know how things affected him maybe in a spiritual sense with his family, his friends, and it was the breakdown of his life and the triumph of him rebuilding. In the second book, wow, that delved in further really. You know, it was hard to imagine some of the things and the emotions he was going through in his experiences around the world at that time, and you know, it's just a testament really to where it's brought him today. So I would just really recommend this. This is something, you know, that all of us in some format in this community know somebody that might have gone through this experience, and it just gives you a different insight. So big up.
Went on 29 planes in a year and a half. So I went Jamaica 6 times, Colombia once, Brazil 2 times, Curacao 4 times, Spain, Amsterdam and Belgium before I ended up getting arrested again for smuggling. So it was like, you know. Basically, this is my stool, which been up and running now. in this spot here in Brixton Station Road, SW9, and this is my selection of black authors who I personally know from London, who have all been through some experience in their life, what basically brought them to writing their books. This first book here is From One Extreme to Another. This is my uncle's book, and it was in a sound called Stereograph back in the 70s. He also had a sound in Jamaica, but I can't remember the name of the sound, and basically this is his life story, from one extreme to another, because all the madness happened. Next book here, this is by Leroy Smith, and basically he shot the police on Colab Lane 25 years ago. He came out of jail a few years ago, and this is his story about what's happened to him, trying to show the youths them that this road life is not the one. This next book here is written by a good time friend of mine, Asher Senator, and it's about him and Smiley Culture, who passed away, well, done know already, a few years ago, RIP. Very interesting book indeed, very gripping, entertaining as well, another good book to read. These two here now, these are my two books, and it's Different, Dealer, User, Smuggler, Prisoner, and basically these books about my life as an ex-drug dealer, user, smuggler, prisoner, and all that sort of stuff there. Is basically I wrote these books in jail on my last prison sentence. Since I've come out of jail, I no longer take crack. I've been 6 years out of jail, and basically man's turning their life around. I was working in probation, helping the youths them, but now I'm back on my stool out there selling and promoting my books. Next book here is an author friend of mine who I met since writing my books. He's from over North London, and this is his story, a product of his environment, and basically his story of what happened to him in his life. Some very deep things that happened with his personal life, lost one of his kids and so forth. Very good book to read as well. This book here is a lady called Annie, and basically she grew up in Northern Ireland, and this is her book about growing up in Northern Ireland, all the racism, what she had to go through. In the book she classes Angry Annie because she had to be always defending herself as a young child. She was around the IRA. It's a very, very deep book. And last of all, this book here is written by my friend named Sugar. Gary Holness is his real name, and he is one of the survivors of the 7/7 bombings. He was actually on the trains, and when the bomb went off, basically he lost one of his legs. When you see this guy now, he's about somewhere, and he's very cheerful, and you wouldn't believe that this guy has lost his leg, and he's giving his story to make people know that, like, just keep going on. So this is my little selection of the books. I'm out here every Friday and Saturday from 9 a.m. till 5 p.m. And since I've been out here, it's just been like basically it's been growing. I do my little ads. I put my on social media and that, do my little videos. People actually coming now from like North London just to come down and support the thing. Putting up this to people, start to put more comments on Amazon, and the thing is just growing. So if you're looking for some real good books to read, real honest black books, then please come down to Brixton Station Road, Brixton, SW9, every Friday and Saturday. Blessed love.
How old are you?
I'm 11.
You're 11? How old are you? So you would have been just born. You might have been just born. So I was on the bus, I was underground on a tube train. And on the tube train, 56 people died all together in the London bombing. Half of them, 26, died around me. So where I was standing up, I found it. You've got your book. You can have it. Right. So where I was standing here, and the suicide bomber was standing there. And 26 people around me died. And I survived. And I had to write the book. That's my next, this one. I tagged it.
Charles is tagged.
Then Charles, I tagged it.
Yeah, we are tagging.
So from there, all the way down there, artificial. I lost my leg, and this one I lost as well.
And actually moves. Nearly.
Across there.
How you doing, sir?
And then up here.
Right? Yeah. This one?
But both my eardrums blown out.
This one written by me.
That one came back, but this one didn't come back, so they've got to put a plastic prosthesis into here. And the rest they say is history. Yeah, the rest is history, as they say. But I survived, and I feel like I'm here to help other people. Definitely. Every time I speak to people, they say, "Your energy, you're so positive." And I feel like, wow, I must be here to give back to the next generation. I've been through so much. I'm from Bridgestone, Suffolk Park Estate. I'm an 80s child, so I know about the riots and this and that. So I just feel like I'm here to give back to the younger generation.
After 2 months of another wicked holiday in hot sunny Jamaica, it was now time for us to leave. Me and Pigo on the same flight. Pigo carrying 23 pounds of the highest grade weed, and me, Mr. Different, carrying 2 kilos of the finest crack cocaine. We left from my apartment in Kingston, Jamaica, and made our way to Runaway Bay, Hilltop House, to meet the plainclothes policeman who was going to bring Pigo to Montego Bay Airport. About half an hour later, me and Zona left to take me there. By the time we got there, Pigo had done checked in. He was now sitting outside on the bench with the plainclothes policeman, waiting on the phone call, giving him the okay to go back into the airport, because that meant the weed was in the drum on the plane, so it can't be troubled again. After I checked in my suitcase and the items with the drugs in, I then went back outside to check Zonan. Zonan was now sitting on the bench with the plainclothes policeman and Pigo, so I went over to them as well. We were all there on the bench, chatting and cracking jokes like we didn't have a care in the world. Next, Zonan says to me, "So Artem, you know, I'll give me Keela number." I just laughed and gave it to him. Next, the plainclothes policeman's phone rang. It was a call saying that it's now safe for Pigo to go back into the airport, which should have been safe for me as well, because my team was safe as well. We said latest to the plainclothes policeman and Zonan, and then went away back into the airport. As we went through the first security checkpoint, this big black hench customs stroke immigration officer came over me and told me to come with him. Pigo looked at me to say, "What's going on?" I didn't have a clue, but one thing I knew for sure, this wasn't good. He took me into this small room with a table and 2 chairs, one either side of each other, and told me to take a seat. By now my heart was beating really fast, my brain was doing overtime, wondering what the fuck's going on. This next officer then comes into the room, around the same size as the other officer, but a lighter shade of black. He sits in the chair opposite me and looks me straight in the face. By now I'm shitting myself, think I'm gonna end up in prison in Jamaica like my brethren Links. The first words that came out of the officer's mouth was, "Where the drugs there?" in a strong Jamaican accent. "I ain't got no drugs," I replied. "Yo, road boy, you have to remember my face." I just said that I remember seeing him with Jimmy last year when I done my 3rd weed move. He went on and said, "Yeah man, me done no more Brazil and Colombia and them place there. Where Jimmy there?" But now I was shocked and replied, "I don't know where Jimmy is." Then he was back on, "Where the drugs there?" I kept telling him I ain't got no drugs on me, but he weren't having none of it. "Inside you swallow something?" So I started poking my belly, indicating I ain't got no drugs in me. The officer then left the room for a minute or 2. When he came back, he told me to lift up my top and then wipe this small piece of yellow paper across my belly. A few seconds later, the paper changed colour, indicating I had cocaine in my system. The volume in the officer's voice rose now. "How are this? Yeah, cocaine are you?" "No, I ain't. I bought the thing a couple nights ago," I replied. By now I'm sweating like I just done banning a thing for real and the pussy all still out of my case. "Which part you want under your time?" "Yes, I'm back in England," hoping that I crumble and tell him where the drugs were. Then I remembered the plainclothes policeman done got the phone call giving Pigo the okay to go back into the airport, so by rights they couldn't go into the drum again. Remembering that now eased the pressure I was feeling. After the officer realised I wasn't cracking and it was too late now to do anything, he ended with, "Me have a car call from the each one tell him to give a check." Then he opened the door and said, "Go on," which I sort of got to hear, but at the same time I felt so weak, thinking and believing that as I reached Heathrow Airport I'm going straight to prison. After I caught back up with Pigo, Jeff was back to board the plane. He looked at me and asked, "What happened?" I opened my mouth to speak, but nothing came out. Closed it again and just shake my head from side to side. Different dealer, you the smuggler prisoner. Check it out.
Sherlock, different. See? Part 1 and 2. Make sure you buy them. True story from beginning to end. I can tell you because I'm actually in the story. In both books, yeah? Little things we used to get up to, things a lot of people shouldn't have got up to, but obviously it's a learning experience. The 2 books are a true story. It's not fiction, trust me. Maybe the names are altered, but it's a true story. from beginning to the end. As I say, I don't know how this guy remembers all these little things to write in a book, but I tell you what, it's true. So watch it, read it. When the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, buy them. Trust me, sell out.
DARDEST TV in association with Block 5 Entertainment. We're back out here. We're here with a gentleman called Junior James, a man who's been a dealer, a user, a smuggler and a prisoner. What's good over there?
Everything's good in there, my brother.
Yeah?
Yeah, everything's blessed.
Okay, let's get into this then. Tell us a little bit about what made you put your story into 2 books so far.
I basically, through the years of being on the road, I got myself into a lot of scrapes, and the scrapes and what I got into, I'm lucky basically to be alive. And people always said to me, yo, you need to write a book, you know, but my reading and writing wasn't that good, so for me to write a book, that was like a bit long. And then basically, through going to jail, my reading and writing got better each time, and the last time I went to jail, I decided, you know what, let me just try and write this book. And basically I started writing it, and I was like, I'm possessed, I just couldn't stop.
Okay, let's give us a little bit into where you was brought up. What were the areas you lived in as a young'un and the influences you seen in those areas?
Basically I was born on Brixton Hill. From Brixton Hill, I think we stayed there, wasn't there long, can't remember of course, so I was told. Then I was remember it was at the back of Brixton Front Line on Mill Road. And then when I first really remember growing up is in Lambeth North, behind Lambeth North Tube Station, a place called Camberwell Buildings, and that's where I really remember growing up as a youth, playing outside and all them sort of stuff there. So that's where I grew up. That was until the age of 9, and then from 9 moved to Stockwell, and then that's where I basically, that was my ends, Stockwell.
Okay, so when you was young, what do you think the reasons are that made you turn to the roads? Like, what was you seeing out here that made you feel that the road life was the way forward?
Basically, my reading and writing weren't good, innit? And from a youth growing up, I used to bunk school enough because of the reading and writing. So I saw a man on the road doing things, and I used to kind of just follow them, greed, envious, follow fashion, wannabe. You know, and just got into that life, just not through being homeless on the street or anything, just basically being red-eye really, innit?
Tell us some of the names in the book, because obviously if you was official out here in your area, in your era, there must be some official names that was official out here with you in that book.
Alright, there's a lot of official names, but I can't call the official names. So basically there's people's names in the book I've changed. But if you know me, it's so easy to work out people. A lot of people do know me. As they read the book, they figured out who Bugsy really was, who Eyes really was. But you have to know me to know. But it doesn't really matter if you don't know. You don't need to know their names, because when you start reading the book, even if everybody has to get your own vision of it, so you've already got that vision of that person in your head, so just work with that. So otherwise it's a true story, but I'm not going to expose the real names.
Okay, so let's get into you yourself now. Obviously I see you down there in Brixton with another name that was official back in your time. You got Mr. Bailey, Peter Bailey. Now he's got mad war stories out here on the road. What was your connection back then with him? Did Peter Bailey ever stick it on you? What was you and him like out here?
Alright, I'm going to tell you how I know Peter Bailey, yeah? Basically, there's a guy, I remember in the book I talk about the first sound I was in was called Babyphonic, and there's the next sound called Stereophonic, they were the elders. So there's a guy called Taylor Phonic now, that was at them time, it was one of the bigger men than what looked out for me. but him and Bailey, I think they're half brothers. So I was around them a lot. So I remember the first day I met Peter Bailey, not when I met him, I'd known him and all them sort of stuff there. But this was like, I think about maybe 87, I'm talking about way back when, man, we youths. This was the last carnival what went on like all night. And them time there, Brixton, man, used to link up that one day there of the year, on a Monday, all the Brixton man would link up. And when I mean all the Brixton man, that means Streatham, Clapham, everyone would just link up for that one day there, and we'd be surrounded, would classed as Brixton man them, and basically enough of the youths them were going through them time they managed to rob in carnival hard. Like you got foreigners, people them robbing the Chinese, Indians, all they wanted the 22, the 24 karat gold. Man them just robbing up the place all day long. And then man like Bailey now, them man is big man on the ends, like you get me, them man is take people's things regular. So then like after that now, so we're boring through the steams in the carnival, we're steaming through one time, and it's like I stepped on Bailey's foot and I thought, oh shit. And like he turned around fast, and then when he looked at me, he says, you? What, boy, come forward. It's like, shh, like it's like a wave of something that's blew over. But as a youth growing up, as I said, through my brethren, Taylor Phonic, his half brother, we used to travel all over the place playing the sound system. So that's how I got to basically know Bailey. But as years went on, drugs came into the thing, and to speed up the story, basically, I was out on Cole Harbour Lane one day, and Cole Harbour Lane, time they have bad man road, innit? If you want to go shotting on Cole Harbour Lane, you better be no bad man, because bad man come out at night, and you got bad man shotters out there, and you got bad man bunners. Yeah, don't get it twisted. You got some that don't fool say one who bun crack, it's some pussy, or you got some bad man bunners who will bun you. You understand? So boom, and Bailey's one of them. So anyway, through annoying from way back when, he's called me, and he's got this thing where he does this thing where anytime when he puts his arm around you and he says, come here a minute, and he walks away with you, you know, say, rah, your man might gonna get sting. Now I've got this yard bridge and I'm out on the road with, and he's saying to me, Sherlock, don't go with him, don't go with him. So I go, just cool man, everything's crisp man, everything's crisp. But I had about 3 bills on me, and my mouth was full of shots. So I gave my yard bridge the money, and I gave him the three bills, but I had this a half a 6 in my mouth. So anyway, I've gone back over to Bailey. He goes, come here a minute, blood. He goes, what are you doing out here? And he took me onto this one little back road just off Cole Harbour Lane. And he said, what are you doing out here? I said, well, I just come to get one thing still. And he goes, you sure? He goes, you sure you're not shotting out here? I said, nah, I'm not doing no shotting. He goes, if I find out, see you're shotting out here, you know. I didn't even go there. He goes, you see you ain't got no respect no more. Yeah, to bring the argument to me, yeah, he said, you ain't got no respect no more. And then basically, he just stuck it on me. So, when I said to him, nah, I just come out here to get a 20 rock. So he goes, where is it? So I took it out of my mouth, and I go, I'll give you a piece of it still, like I was about to bust it. And he goes, give me that. And he grabbed it out of my hand. And he goes, this ain't no fucking 20, this is the fucking half a 6. What are you doing out here? I said, Brendan, I just come here to get something to bun, you know. He goes, ew, I'm watching you, you know, Sherlock, I'm watching you. I got my little thin gold chain on, and he's like, he's cut the chain. So he's about to take it now, and I said to him, shut loud up, man, that's ain't real. And he goes, what the fuck you wearing it for? And he popped off the chain and goes, mind yourself, you know. And then he goes, don't let me say, go furthermore, if you've got anything else on you, don't let me have to draw my things out and do something. So I ain't got nothing on me. And he just left it with basically, I'm watching you, Sherlock, I'm watching you. And then he went about his business. I was pissed. Certain people around me were pissed as well, and they said like, rah, come on Sherlock man, just say the word man, we'll go for this pussy hole. But at the end of the day, it was just like a half a 6. And I saw the positives out of this. I saw it like, yeah, you're doing your thing, you're shotting food. Fuck Cole Harbour Lane, that's Badman Road. You're not on that level there. This loud Cole Harbour Lane, and it kept me off there, because that road get raided enough as well, like man get lined up. And I have to start swallow jobs out there like mad and all them things there. So it was, I saw it, I got the positive out of it, and just made it blow over my head.
So what are you like with him now? When you see him, obviously he comes past, what are you like?
I remember years, I've spotted him a few times when I was still doing my thing, but me and him just weren't moving in the same circles. So he wasn't no one who I got any mix up with. But years later, there was a dance, one New Year's. A dance in Recreation, went to his house party after, and I hadn't seen him for years. And in the dance now, I said to him, Yeah, remember when you robbed me on Coal Harbour Lane and he put his hand around me, hold me tight. And he goes, don't worry about that, I'm gonna just get them things there like. So that's cool, man. I forgot about it as well, because as well, in that space of time when I was on drugs, I done enough fuck with people as well. So that was just it's a part in the game, innit? Shit happens to you, you're not gonna get a clean run. So when I see him now, as I said, I saw him today. Because now I've got my stool in Brixton for the last, every night people pass and check me. So every week I will see him, even for like a half hour, come and chill out at the stool. Today, give me a spliff of skunk. You know what I mean? That's all good.
So here what I'm saying, let's get on to another guy who was well known back in the day. And his book's on your stall. We got Schema. What do you know of Schema? What was your connection with Schema?
I ain't got no connection with Schema. And I'm like really baffled as to how come I never knew Schema. Because as a youth growing up, I was out there from like 13 DJ on sound system and building a name for myself. And it's only since Schema come out of jail, the first time I actually saw Schema was on your DARDEST video, what you done of him. And then from then, since it's been out, I've seen certain people who I know, and enough people, they've known him. Some of them have even gone through experiences with him, and they've told me some other little bits and pieces as well, you get me? So that's how, so I wouldn't say someone who I know like that, but since he's come out and he's been putting out his books, because I've got to meet, when you write a book, you get to meet a lot of publishers, not publishers, authors. So yeah, we'll just link that way there, but I don't know him personally like back in the day. I can't even say he's anybody who I heard of back in the day, but not saying that in a disrespectful way, because all the top man them who I know, he said he was up there doing his thing with them. He was very, a girl to describe it, he was ruthless, he was reckless. Like he had no behaviour. He was proper cold, so, and it's a good few people I heard it from still, so.
Yeah. So what's your connection with him now?
Oh, basically, I sell and promote his books for him as just one of his outlets. I sell and promote his books, just like other people's books on my stall. So I've got them on the stall and I tell people about his book. Some of them are interested, some of them ain't. Some of them have heard about it already.
I would just like to big up Sherlock on his books. I would like to say that his book, the way he done it, it was really excellent. I read one of the first copies when he got it out on CD, and I thought that it was absolutely brilliant. And I would like to say that a lot more people should support him and, you know, get out there and read his book, and you might be inspired by certain things that he went through. It was absolutely brilliant. So get out there and big up Sherlock and the crew.
As a man who's lived it, tell the young youths that are going to watch this some of the things that you did and some of the things that people done to you, so that you know that the roads can't be trusted and nobody who you walk along with them can be.
Well, basically on the roads, I got basically this road life. There's always a karma with it, innit? And some money is jail, some money is death, some money is like life off. For me, it was I actually got on the drugs, and from someone who was known and respected by everybody, people couldn't believe, say that raw, like Sherlock's on the crack, like. And I was stinging people left, right and centre, and karma comes. Like I was known as, like, somebody used to call me the baddest man without a gun, because I get your food, I get your peas, I ain't got no gun. But one day it did come back on me, maybe one day, a couple times up, like that the first time it actually come on me, like a man them actually stick me up with a chrome 45 gun to my head back. I had to go and link them, and I was bunning that day, innit? It's like the devil was out to get me. So I went to go and link them now, and the guy even cancelled it, and I was pushing it, saying, no, I can get it tonight. So boom, linked up my people them, got the 9-bar, linked him, jumped in the car, and I'm about to jump in the car, he had a brethren with him, and his brethren said, try me jump in the back and you two do your business. Boom, we're driving up the road now, we're chatting about some studio thing we just done the other day. It's some yard man them, you get me? Next time I say, hey, yo, Sherlock, don't make the wrong move. Me have the 45 now your head back. Make a wrong move, I'm gonna bust your skull. And it's like, at first I wasn't boomy. So the man now who I know, I looked at him and said, I'm not gonna say his name. So I said to him, yo, brethren, you can't rob me right about now. I'm in bare trouble on the road. I've got bare people looking for me as it is. So he's like, he said, them sure, what kind of trouble you know? You're not so much trouble. So he's bridging with the gun now. He's clocked that I'm getting a conversation sparking up with my man. So he's like, nudged me in the back of the head and said, yo, I robbery this, you know, and then a talking thing. And then he started saying, yo, Sherlock, you bring the money where you get the food from. You get me? And I said, basically I can't say where I got the food from, but it were people them close to me, like where my head rests is, you get me? So I couldn't bring them there. So it's like, how am I getting out of this now? So I end up saying to them, it's some white man from the waters I got the food from. So the next day, so yard man back on, which blood clot white man come out Brixton and sell food? I mean, I know about him. And then true, I know the other man, he said, make him go on, man, make him go on. So my man jumped in the back now. So what he's done, like this is a regular thing, this is how they do their thing, innit? So he's winded up the seat. And so too, like my chest is actually touching my lap. And then, so I can't move, and then he's from behind, he's gone in my pockets, emptied out my pockets. Then he's come out the car, and then he said, come out of the car slowly. And then, with only when I'm getting out the car and I look up, and I see the Chrome 45 staring at me. Well, I thought, rah, like, am I gonna die today? And then he's got back in the car, and he said, put your hands up in the air. I said, walk up the road slowly. So I'm just walking like this. I'm saying, God, don't let them shoot me. 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 And in the end, they drove off. So that's just like one of the situations like what I got myself into. And I could have dead that day, because them man, they was like some proper robber man. It's only after I found that man, them man, you were shot him. That's what they do. They line up, man, and build up a trust. And because I said, can't trust no one. It's a very cold game, and that's just one of the situations what I got in, and I won't wish that on my enemies. So it's not a nice situation to be in.
People are telling me there was a time when it was cool to be a smoker, to be on the crack. What do you say to that? Was there a time when that was cool?
Alright, looking back on it now, it's never cool. But back in the day, like there used to be like certain dances what used to go on. It wasn't so much clubs. It's like there's a lot of house dances what go on, and we have house parties, DJing the dances them, and you used to have like mystery, touch of class, and them dances there. Them dances used to rock till like 4 in the afternoon. People ain't going nowhere, drinking champagne, and everyone's smoking crack spliffs. So as a youth growing up now, is bad man what I'm looking up to, innit? And like bunning spliff in a pipe is something totally different. I never had a pipe in my life. In all my years of smoking crack, I never ever, and I can say it with the honest, I've got a hand on my heart, I never had a pipe. I was a spliff man. To me, like having a pipe now was like going on to another level, like you're making a machine, you know. And that wasn't my form of style. But now I look at it, it doesn't matter like how you're taking it, whether you're taking it in a spliff or a pipe. It's crack, and it's some crack thing, innit? Some crackhead thing. So, but back in the day, it was kind of like looked up on, like it was expensive, innit? Like you're basically bunning a £20 spliff, innit? And if you can doing that all night, it shows say you're making peas. But when I started doing it, I never realised say that this could get me hooked. The first time I smoked, I didn't like it. When me and my brothers them were on road, we robbed a couple man them on the street, and it was, if we shared out the money, it was too much man. So man said, "Chal, let's buy some shit." Now them days I didn't even bun weed. So anyway, they bought the shit. I was kind of pissed because I wanted to go and buy a pair of trainers. I wanted some money to put towards it. So anyway, they bought the shit. Was in my brethren's yard. First time I tasted it, bun a couple of jaws out my brethren's window. Next thing I just broke out in one cold sweat. I could like sit on the end of the bed and everyone saying to me, "Oh, Sherlock, you alright, you alright?" And then my next brethren now, he said to get it, he goes, "You're good, man, you just got a little rush, man." He said, "Next time you do it, you'll be alright." And I think, in my head I'm thinking, we talking about next time? There's no next time for this. And I had a piece to go home with. Now I got a taxi home, and on the way home I parked my brethren's yard, and I know that he troubled it before. So I went to him and said to him, "Chad, that man want to book this foolish thing, I don't want it, man." He said, "You want it?" And he took it off me, and I went home. It was about 8 o'clock in the eve, I actually went home and went to bed. Like, I just knew, say, that thing not for smoke. And then, cut a long story short, 2 years later now, when money's making and I see enough man doing it, I tried it again, and I liked it. It was like a nice smooth bun, but it's only as not thinking, true, it's just a one little bun, and I was like be a crumbs man, I only smoked the crumbs, so I never thought that this thing could ever hold me. And then as time went on, man was hooked and didn't even realise that they were hooked.
What do you feel when you now look at the young youths that are coming up in the road, and it seems like there are a lot more fishers with the stabbings, the shootings. There don't seem to be no respect out here. What do you feel when you see that?
It's so hurtful and so regular till it's like I don't even know what to say about it no more. Like, we need to start linking up, man. Like, we need to start helping these youths, but they don't know the system is so messed. Like, but we need to still come together like some Black Panther shit, man. Like, not no joke thing, man. Like 50 strong, real soldiers, them like going on the ends where the youths them are, and no cameras, and reason with them. And you've got all different people in this group. We've got the henchman them to the wild one them, and we've got the one what got the brain to show them how to set up themselves. Like, I'm talking about like 50 strong, like 50 in south, 50 in east, 50 in west, and we're all connected and we're keeping in tune. Some real work has to go in, because it's hurtful, man, and it's like, it's stupid as well. Like, you get me? I ain't got no youths, but my nephew, like, when he like, he's on the road, and at the time that he's growing up, he's like, you're threatening, like, you don't like, you know, these youths, they don't answer their phone, and you think like, is he alright? It's stressful, man. It's stressful. It's not how they're living. I feel it for them, man. And nothing of them, they're growing up with no parents. They ain't got no morals. They don't even know what's right from wrong. And it's very hurtful. And something has to be done, man. It's like it goes quiet, and then everyone gets back on with their life, and then boom, another one happens, and then another one happens, and everyone starts going on about it again, and then it's nuts. And us as elders need to come together, not have no fear of them. I ain't got no fear of them, and because we're not going to them to tell them nothing wrong, and just try and coach them, like trying to save them some, because their thinking is soon going to come round to, this road life is long, it's not happening. That's if they're not dead, or if they're not lifed off. So we're trying to get to them before it reaches that stage. Okay? It's just peak, bruv, it's peak. Waiting outside the cab office, and I'm gonna make sure I remember his name right. In the book I call him Uncle Dean. Now Uncle Dean is my girl's family. So basically, me and my girl's brother in the book is called Justice. My brethren still, love that youth there. And although in the book I call him a sorry if I overstand the thing, it's not like that. Yeah? So Justice now, as me and Justice have got some mix up going on. It's all of shit going on. So me and Justice have got some mix up going on now, and he's trying to get hold of me. So he put put something on my head, and basically he's told his uncle, if you see Sherlock, get him. So Uncle Dean has just come out of rehab, because Uncle Dean banned as well, and he's come out fresh, feeling strong. He hasn't banned yet or anything. He's nice. So he bucks me now. He goes, "Right, what's going on with you and Justice?" I go, "Try this something to eat that thing, man." So anyway, the woman in the cab office now shouted to me, said, "That's your car there." So I tried to make a quick step now past Dean and said, "Charlie, well, I'm gone, you know." And he goes, "No, what do you mean you're gone?" I go, "No, I've got to sort this out." So like, boom, he's held onto my hand now, and I've kind of shaked him off. The next thing you know, me and Brock out in fight. So these two brothers now just come along from nowhere, and he goes, "What? You trying to beat my brethren? You trying to beat my brethren?" So they've jumped in as well. Now, as I said, I've got my ring on, I've got my chain on, I've got a fake Cartier on, I've got 2 grand odd in this pocket, and I've got 300 in this pocket. Now all I'm thinking, remember I said I've told my man in the yards in bare beef. So all I'm thinking is, I can't lose no more of his money. So while I'm trying to fight all 3 of them off now, I'm just holding on to this one pocket with the 2G in. Then while I'm wrestling with them, I can feel the thing just popping up. I can't do nothing. So the next thing I know, the 2 men who's rushed now, they've said, "Raw, they didn't even expect to find that much more money on me." So they just dust. I've seen them running down the side of Academy. Then Uncle Dean's brother pulls up now, because he's called his brother, said, "Yeah, I've got Sherlock, come and get me now." So boom, so Uncle Dean, I can't remember what Dean's brother is, it's called, the brother comes out the car now, and he starts going on, "Yeah, you're a liberty taker. You live at my sister's yard for so many years, and you robbed 10 grand from the yard." So I'm kind of baffled. I'm like, "What are you talking about, rob 10 grand from the yard?" Like, but the story what my man put out to make it sound fuckery, so that they actually get me, because I chat with these guys. So anyway, cut a long story short, they tried to bundle me into the Benz. So I'm there fighting them off, still holding onto this pocket, and then to the time like when I actually dropped on the floor, and then next thing you know, it was bare police sirens, and then the brother saying to Dean, come, the police are coming, leave him. So this time I'm on the floor. I mean, all I can see was, they had to go, I can just see Uncle Dean's boot that's coming down to the side of my face and just stamped on the side of my face. If you look at me now, last time I don't really go on video, I haven't really said it to people. My jaw is lean, and it's expensive and very painful to put back. That's why I've never done it. But that's a scar, basically, what I've got through being on the drugs. So that was like a very embarrassing situation to be in, because after when they finished rushing me and beating me up and whatever, all the shops then were out there, academy, the barber shop, everybody was out there. My face would twist up. Then I'd be running back, looking on the floor for tickets. Plus I've been bunning as well. I just got to stay. All my jewels are gone now. It's just like Brixton Academy was the place of the youth where I dreamed to DJing about. DJing. I want to do a stage show. It was all my dream, like to DJ in Brixton Academy. But I got the biggest beating of my life. And it was like, for all the shit what I was in, and I saw it as like, God keeps on giving me chances. And I keep on fucking them up. And that day there, he just had enough of me. And he said, you're going to get a beating for everybody. I'm just going to embarrass you today. I'm going to embarrass your blood clot. And that was a big embarrassment I got. And that's just due to bunning.
I read the first part of the book, Different Me by Junior James, and listen, it is a proper serious book, yeah. I literally started reading it, I finished it within probably about 6 hours, because you know what, I could not put the book down. It's one of those books, I don't even read too often, but my friend gave me this book, told me I must read it, and he had me captivated, proper captivated. It's by one of the brothers on the road, you know, you need to get this book, you need to get it. I'm going to purchase part 2 and continue reading, trust me, big things.
Let's get into prison. Remind us how many times you went there, what it was for, and how many years all in.
Alright, the first time I went to jail was 97, and basically I got my start off, I was in debt, and someone put the smuggling thing to me. I said, yeah, I could do that. Tried smuggling some weed back in some pineapples, shit move. Basically the man who I got sent to, there's some printers, and so they put they squash up the weed, they cut off the pineapple, then they wrap the weed in foil, then they put the weed in the pineapple, and they put the pineapple back on, the top back on, and to it's a jagged edge, they glued it over and put a little bit of white. It's kind of blended in. Give thanks that I got out of Jamaica with that. But when I reach here now, basically all fruit gets x-rayed. All fruit, any food you're bringing back gets x-rayed. So like they put that through the x-ray. I was like, yeah, I mean, so for that I got 18 months and I've done 9. Then when I came out of jail, hit back on the roads, was doing my shotting, got myself into more debt again, thing got really peak. Then the smuggling thing come back up. So I came out of rehab and then I went straight into smuggling. And the next time I got caught, I got, thank God it was only had a half a box on me, and I got a 4.5. Then that was 2003. And then came out 2005, was out for a couple of years, back on my team. This time it's only for 9 ounces, but this time I was on a travelling ban, so I was sending people abroad and receiving a lot of drugs through the post. And this thing what came through the post was only 9 ounces, and they gave me 7 years. Now I've seen man in jail doing like 8 years for 2 boxes, but it was like my 3rd time smuggling, so they just seen it like they gave me the most what they could give me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think the reason is that people ain't seeing jail as a deterrent? Like, why is it the first time you went jail it never made you think, you know what, I ain't doing nothing that's going to make me go back there again? Why is it you ended up going 3 times?
For me, it was like, from when I got in there, I knew when I come out what I was doing. Like, I used to shop crack, and man got high on their own supply, then got myself into debt. And after that, it was someone would come to me and say, why you don't start shotting the beer? I kind of frowned against the beer. Like, I just saw it as a dirty jug, needle, heroin, blood, and all that sort of stuff there. But anyway, about 6 months after I got caught I got arrested, I got caught for the weed. I was on bail for like 6 months. So in that time, I started shotting B, and for the first time now, I was starting to see profit again. So I started saving and everything. Eased up off the crack, was still smoking, but nowhere as hard. Went back into jail. So when I went in, I just knew that when I was coming out, I'm coming out to shop. And that was, there was, I went to education, and that's when I first kind of like started to learn to read and write better. But it wasn't something what I had thought, raw, you're kind of talented, like you could really write books and all that sort of stuff. I knew, said that right about now, I know man was gone jail and they come out and they get back on their thing, and I felt like, yeah, I have to be one of them man there. It just didn't feel like a deterrent. It was hard, because I said it was only like, at the time it wasn't only, I got 18 months, I had to do 9, and at first I thought, Chuck, I can easily do this. Only when the 3 weeks went by and I go, shit, I've got another 8 months and 1 week of this. For the first time in jail, it was, you get me?
Yeah, but what was it hard because of? Was it hard because it's boring and time's not ticking, or was it hard because people's on things in there?
For me it was just hard because like, it's boring being locked in a cell on your own. It was also like coming off the crack for the first time since I've been on it. It was like the first time now like I'm actually getting clean properly. It was sort of like more like a rehab for me. And you butt man in there, you hear man's stories, and then it just didn't feel like a deterrent.
Yeah.
But jail is not nice though, it's a horrible place.
Yeah. Tell us some of the worst things you've seen in there as a deterrent to the young youths that think they're built for it. And we're talking things like people getting hurt, people getting oiled, all that, anything like that that you saw, that you can tell us that people that think they're bad out here on roads went to jail and they weren't bad no more.
Alright, I've seen man in jail and I've seen man in the showers get bore up. I've seen man in jail and they have up the place. The whole of their crew's in there. I've seen enough of their crew disappear now, they change and cower down. I've seen man in jail go mad doing the IPP. If you think, right, this man doing a 9-year IPP, this man's so happy, merry, jolly, rare. Like, this sentence ain't touching him until slowly as the time goes by, like this sentence is really touching him until he's getting to the stage where he just walk up and down laughing. He's tearing up the whole of his mattress and he's sleeping under the bed. He's got so bad where he's cut off a piece of his ears until they get to that, basically like take him off the wing. The worst thing I've seen what happened in prison is when someone killed themselves. And it's just like, rah, this is what this place does to you, like, it can make you like, it's like, it was a reality check. You could, like, the whole mood in the prison, like, you feel it like, rah, we're in hell for real, like, people kill themselves in there, like, it's just a horrible feeling there, man. It's like, you have to go back to yourself, for me, I have to go back to someone and pray, like, God, please let me get out of here alive, like, it's cause I've seen man in jail, like they get into beef in jail, like they're nearly to end of the sentence and that stabbing up man get another 5 years, like it's peak, man. It's just a horrible place. Like I never really had no violence, but like things like being when you're first going, if you don't know the system as well and how to work your way around it, being in a cell with like 3 man, 1 Eastern European and an Asian, and then you as a Black Caribbean, you're the last one in. You've got to like get on with everybody as well. And so like you don't know them man there. Man's farting, the cell smells. I remember one day I was on landing. I'm walking by dinner and someone must have like just done a shit and oh, is that the shit is when I walk past the cell, it's like it went down my throat. I had to starve that and I couldn't even eat. It's like, well, this is nastiness. It wasn't like no, for me it wasn't no bad up thing. Like I got into a few day scrapes, but true way I used to do with the youths them, when I put it on man, like, you better go back and apologise to my man now. That's how, you get me, how me and the youths them were flexing, but it's horrible, man. Nasty, dirty place, man. Dirty place, man. It's not a place to be, man.
So we want you to give any young man or woman that is in any way living a road life right now a positive message to show them, listen, I've been there, I've done that, and it's long. There's no good at the end of that. Forget it.
Basically, I'm on a thing right about now. What it's going to be in my part 3, what I'm teaching people is work off your passion. Forget about selling drugs, putting yourself at risk, your life at risk, your freedom at risk. Work with your passion. If you know you're a bad cameraman like DARDEST TV, go around and do interviews. It will be fruitful. If you've got a talent and you know you've got bars and you can spit, go out and stick to your thing. If you know you're that good, because some people, they think they're good and they're shit and they're not being real. But if you know you're good, stick to your passion.
I heard about the fact that you used to be working with probation, but you're not no more. So give us the insight to where that went down and what's the future on that.
Alright, basically through writing the books, my books opened a lot of doors for me. My probation officer really, like when I first come out, I was on my home leaves and I was going probation, and they kept saying, what's your plan B? What's your plan B? I didn't have a plan B. To me, plan B was to fail. So my thing was, I'm gonna bust in my books. I'm gonna do my books. And my probation officer, like, if you look at my past records, I've reoffended. Like, they've heard it all before. But you see, when I actually came out, and then a few months later, I got my first books printed. When I went back to probation, I just threw the book on the table. And basically, like, my probation officer ran out the office, went and got his line manager. And from then, I started doing enough talks with probation. Like, I'd go there, talk for about 15 minutes, go to some of their conferences, they'd be like, dead boring, like. And then I'll go up and say my little speech and just tell them I used to come into probation and look at the probation officer and lie. And this little thing, they'd be cracking up, like, just, I'm not even thinking that they're even going to laugh. They used to bring some, like, humour into the conference, because somebody be, like, really, like, enough acronyms they're using and just be, like, really boring. So that they saw, like, rah, like, they come at this youth, got something. So, anyway, they ended up offering me a job as an engagement worker. And in all, there was about 14 of us. Our job was, when the youths them come out of jail, because the probation officers can't do the work, ain't got enough time to do the work because they've got mad caseloads, so they would get referred to us, and then my job would be like, say when a youth comes out, the first thing I do is like help them sort out their ID. By the time they make them, I know, like, when you ain't got no ID, like, when they've got it all in the end, it might take about a good few months. But when they've got it in the end, like, they feel like someone, like they be like, raw, I've got my actual, like, license, raw, it's me on the license. Like, you see the real joy in them, like, and they'll be like, really, like, nah, big man, nah, respect my brother, nah, big man, respect, nah, I like the way you work with me. Like, I've never worked with no one like before. Like, just do them stuff there, getting them onto college courses, and then not just getting them on college courses, helping them to stay on the course and all them. So all positive stuff. Probation officers used to love, at first they wouldn't refer none of them to us. There was a little fight that we had to go through to that. It's like, oh, what's this ex-offender gonna come in here and he's on probation and we're going to refer people to him. But when they start getting a bit, case of getting too much, and then they see one officer working with me and then another officer hears, oh, Junior dealt with him really well. And then they say, okay, let me call him in. So then they're all rushing me, wanting to see this person. I have to tell them, no, you've got too much people working with now. So doing some positive stuff. Then, cut a long story short, this the government sells off probation. They bid it off. An American company bought probation called MTC Nova. And they've got a bad track record in America, but England has still sold it to them. And basically, they just made all these, they're coming like trees are made. They just made all these mad cutbacks. Mad cutbacks. Now, before we could, like, get them money to buy a bus pass and all them sort of stuff there to get to unpaid work or to get to a job interview, there's nothing for them. It's meant to be rehabilitation. And then, basically, after a while, they got rid of loads of probation officers. None of them were temps. So all the temps went, that was like at least 40% of them. So all them ones that are gone now, all probation officers got mad caseloads. So they can't do nothing with a youth when a youth comes out of jail. Just chat to him for about 15 minutes and then he's gone. That's not helping him. He just sit there and tell them lies or not even answer them and then he's gone. He turned up, they can't do him nothing. And then it come to, I didn't go work that day. It was my birthday, so I was in the gym and training, and a man shouted me from work and said, boy, they've made us redundant. So it was like, right, they locked man off. And it just showed me, like, this system, they don't care about the youths them. Like, is it set up to fail? They want them in there. So anyway, I got redundant from that job there.
Yeah, so there's no future for that? Any chance of anything coming again?
No, I wouldn't want to go back in there, because what they done as well, they although they got rid of the engagement worker, they kept a few of the engagement workers and turned them into probation officers. Now I said, I'm not going to be no probation officer. number one, I'm not that guy to be sitting down behind the computer all day. I like to do the groundwork. I like to be out there and all that sort of stuff. And number two, I've seen probation officers get so frustrated because there's nothing what they can offer the youths. So what am I sticking in that job for if there's nothing I've got to offer them but to talk to them for 15 minutes, so I ain't going to help them. Long thing.
I want to big up Sherlock. I want to big up his book, Different. When I read that book, I was busting up from start to finish, you get me? So I got part one, I got part two. I say, you know what? Bad boy. So I come here, I'm supporting, man. We got to know each other because I'm also an author, I'm from East. But yeah, I'm here, and whatever he needs from my side, I'm here to support. Different, part one, part two, cop that, 100%. He's telling the real thing from his perspective. He ain't glorifying nothing. He's just giving you the realness, you understand? Like, our youths, we need to stop doing the badness, yeah? And we need to keep this thing positive, you understand? So pick up Different, part one, part two, cop that.
The other day, last week at the market, yeah? There's this little white Irish man, look, maybe he's in his 60s, got grey on his hair, grey beard. Like, he looks healthy. Now, there's an Irish woman on my stall as well. She got a book. So, they're talking because they both come from Ireland. So, while they're talking, he keeps on saying this woman's name. He's kind of getting on my nerves. I'm like, oh, shut up, man. What do you keep on saying that to me for? So, after he goes, I've read them books. I thought, oh yeah, really, like this white guy, little short Irish guy, like, where did you get, I don't remember sending you these books. He goes, no, I read them. Then he called this girl's name again. I go, what are you talking about? I go, alright, tell me a chapter in my book. So he looked at me, and he goes, there was a time when you kept on buying loads of cigarettes. He had me in stitches, bruv, like stitches. And basically, I'm going to quickly tell you how this story goes. That's how I know, say, raw, my book has gone around, like people are actually reading my book. And basically, this chapter is, this is what I used to do, yeah? This has been the first stages when the first time I got myself into debt. I was about 12 grand debt to enough of my brethren there, but they didn't know I was smoking at the time. Now, I knew it was getting to be a problem, so I used to do this thing where, when I'm going home now, I've told myself I'm not smoking, I'm only going to smoke 2 crack spliffs, and that's it. So I'm going now, no, I've got 2 cigarettes. How many spliffs I can get out of them 2 cigarettes? Maybe get about 3 decent spliffs. That's going to be it for the night. So I go in, about 1 in the morning, bun my 2 spliffs. After I bun my 2 spliffs, I get up, walk out to Wandsworth Road and go to the petrol station, buy a box of cigarettes, take out 2 cigarettes out of the box, then I throw the box of cigarettes away, go back home and say, after these 2 cigarettes done, how much shit I can bun with this, that's me done for the night. Then I bun how much spliff that was, I go back and look for the cigarettes that I just threw away outside, take out another 2 cigarettes, then I'll destroy the cigarettes so I can't go back for them. So I go home now, bun about another 3 spliffs again, the cigarettes are finished, when I go back to the petrol station, I buy another box of cigarettes again. It's like, that's insanity, bruv. Like, I'm trying to fight this thing, and I'm trying all solutions, and I always believe that, yeah, I ain't gonna need no more than this, and that could sometimes, in that one night, I could end up going to the petrol station, like, buying 3 boxes of cigarettes, and I could have just had the 1 box for the whole night. It's just crazy shit, man. Crazy shit, man.
What's the biggest message that the youths coming up on the road can learn from your books?
The biggest message?
Yeah.
First one, don't get high on your own supply. That's the first one, bro. And do good, and God will follow you. It's not an easy road. Believe in yourself. Circle yourself with positive people, and just keep pushing for what you want.
I want to also send a little mention to my book right here. It's called A Product of My Environment. Part 1, part 2 is coming out later on this year. My part, East London, was dead, so I was a travelling man, you feel me? So I was in Brixton. You get me? I was here when the little Brockwell Parks was going on and the rare. You get me? I was in Bridge. You get me? I come from East, so I was in Hackney, Tottenham. I was all over. This is a London story. Again, talks about our problems, our story, you feel me? So it's for the man them to read, enjoy, learn something from, you feel me? Product of My Environment, Different Part 1, Part 2, all of these other books, they're written for the man them, written for you. Big up.
It's the first time I've ever said this as well. I'm going to say it live for the whole world to see. I'm not watching no face. I should be saying that this year, October, I should be 10 years clean. Cut a long story short, last year I lost my job in probation. Certain things happened and I had to leave my other job, and no money wasn't coming in, and the opportunity what was put in front of my face was to help bag up some food. I believe because I'm off it for so long now, a couple of times I've even been around it and I haven't troubled it or anything. Cut a long story short, I had a lapse in it, and that lapse lasted for about 6 weeks. I'm not going to go into it because I'm going to save it for the book. Now the reason why some people might think, Phil, shit man, he lapsed after all that. Addiction is part of having relapse is happening in addiction. That's why you always got to be on your ball. But what is, I feel proud of myself for this. I know it sounds a bit mad for having this lapse, because if you read my book or you know me from in the past, I cannot stop myself. The only way I can stop myself is when I go broke. This time round, I never spent a penny on it. It was just free. It was like the crumbs what I left. There wasn't no like going to buy anything from anybody after that. But I was, at the time, I was really like pissed with myself, like, how the fuck have you gone and done this? Because the first couple of days I'm bagging it out, it was having no effect. And the third day I said, let me just go and blaze one. And that's the thing, there was no time to think, because sometimes a craving would come up. But you got time to think about it. I didn't have no time to think because it's there in front of my face. And as I built it, it's like, basically I blazed it and I was gone basically for the whole night. In and out, back on my back garden smoking. It wasn't nice. It was like, fucking hell, you've gone back here again. But what I respect myself out of it, before I got to go bruck, everything's got to go. If I got jewelry, it's got to go. If got everything in my house, has got to go. Like goods would go, everything. Nothing ever went. Like I stopped myself. I didn't have to go into no rehab. I didn't have to go to prison. I just, basically the person who I was doing the thing with, the couple of times I smoked it, I said, right, I can't bag no food for them. And I shouldn't have been doing it anyway, but I think this got a bit sticky. Like both of my jobs, a lot of bills to pay. Just got a bit lost, didn't know what route to go. Now, the only way, I had to tell him that I've been smoking. Because if I said to him, no, I don't want to do it no more, he's going to say, but you don't make no money. Why you don't make no money? It wouldn't make no sense. So basically, I had to come clean to him and say, bruv, I don't want to do this no more. And he said, stop your foolishness, man. You don't make no money. I said, bruv, I had a lapse. And he was so hurt. He started blaming himself, and it just went up, yeah, kind of emotional still. But I got myself back out of it. That was last year, and I'm proud of myself that I got myself out of it without things getting tits up, losing stuff, making a fool of myself. It was just something what happened in my quarters. I just knew about it. There's no reason for me to tell anybody about this. But as I said, my books are very honest. I'm a very honest guy, and I know so that being honest, it sets you free in it. Like that, so I'm setting my free again in it. So, but otherwise than that, I've left that life alone. For that little 6 weeks there, after that, I just know say that wasn't for me. Prior to that, I had a lapse in the game. I went to Jamaica and basically meant to go and line up a move, and cut a long story short, money got skanked. So that was the first thing that was saying to me, this life isn't for you no more. You've left this alone. 6 years later, you're trying to dabble in it and shit's going wrong. You've got skanked. Now you've tried to chop up a little food. You've got back on it. This life is not for you. Leave this alone. Yeah, you don't need boxes of food. You've got boxes of books in your yard. Go out and shop your books.
You sorry, and what are you sorry for?
Alright, the main thing what I'm sorry for, no disrespect to the people who I had money for and that, at the end of the day, no one ever really physically hurt me or shot me or stabbed me or anything, you get me, and I've done a lot of shit, and half of the stuff people don't get away with. Man dead for way less than what I've done. But what I am really sorry for is like what I put my mum through. Like my mum, she just a straight girl. My mum don't drink, she don't smoke. My mum worked all her life, like, you get me? And basically, she didn't even know I was on drugs. She didn't know I was dealing drugs or anything. And when my mum found out that I was on drugs, basically, I'm sorry for what I put my mum through. My mum had like 3 strokes because of me. Like, proper like 3 strokes. And the 3rd time she was actually put in hospital. I remember we were driving, it was me, my girl and my sister, and I just kept on like breaking down in the car. And it's like, when I saw my mum in the hospital, I don't know, I thought I was expecting to see the worst, and then when I saw her just sitting up in the bed, I actually like broke down like a little baby. Like, I was in the corner like in the hospital, just bawling. Like, I thought, right, my mum was gonna die. Like, I was like, it was mad, a proper like uncontrollable, like, you get me? It was like a relief of joy, like she was actually sitting up. And so, but yeah, I put her through it, man, and I give thanks that she's alive. Like, my mum always had it that she's gonna buy the house, she wants to have something to like pass on to her children, and basically I messed up that dream for her because I got myself into a lot of trouble, and mummy bailed me out a lot of times, to get me. And sometimes it was like embarrassing, like I've had to like go to her workplace and not physically dragged her out, but it got like really sticky where I've got all her work friends coming out saying like, why are you doing this to your mother? Come off your drugs, go sort out yourself. It's like proper outside House of Lords, the police standing up there, everything was peak, man. But I had to pay some money, like, had to pay them because I owed them already, and I had to, and I had to draw off my mum. Like, I put her through it, man. I put her through it.
And what does your mum feel now when she sees that you've turned it all around and you got the books out there? How does she feel now?
I see people on the street and they say to me like, your mum's so proud of you, you know, like she just always talking about you and your books, and she's just so good. For years she couldn't say anything positive about me. So yeah, it's just, yeah, she proper like proud of me, innit? Yeah. I want to make it like she's still, you know, I want to give her a bit of comfort before she passes, to get me. So yeah, man, so that's the main. I'm sorry for like a lot of people who are skanked. Oh yeah, also in the book her name is Chanel. Like, this was my gal. Like, this girl would do like anything for me. My only thing was she weren't gonna do for me, she weren't gonna have no kids for me until I got off them drugs. And I put that girl through like she put herself in a lot of debt for me on credit card, bank loans, other kind of loans. I put that girl through a lot of like financial hell, you get me? And there's certain people I know, like, I believe when I make it, I have to like peel them off. Like, they always say, it's nothing to just forget about that. A lot of them they're just glad to see that I've actually sorted out. Some of them now I'm starting to see a little switch in them, but anyway. Yeah. So yeah, they're the main 2 people, and when you read my books you will hear the remorse, man.
Guys, come to Brixton Market, please, and get this book by Sherlock Different. Absolutely fantastic. It's about his life as a drug dealer, as a user, as a prisoner, as a reformed man when he got out. I've started part 1 and I read it in a week. I'm on part 2, I can't put the book down. Please, please, please come and support. Do your bit for Sherlock Different and the community. Absolutely fantastic.
Let's get into the people that are going to come from the other side. People that are going to say, forget your book. You're just like every other roadman who thinks he can put together a book and get paid. What about all the misery and the carnage that you left behind? What about all them people? Maybe they want to get paid. Maybe they want to see some money from what you did to them. Why should you get paid when you're the one who did these things? What do you say to them?
Alright, basically, yeah, you see this drug life, it's got good side to it and it's got a bad side to it. And for some people, for them, I was part of their bad side of it. I was part of their I was part of their losses. There's a whole heap of losses occur in this game. And because of these debts what I was in, I actually tried to kill myself like over these debts. So that hurt and pain and whatever and guilt I used to feel, I don't have that no more. Right about now, I'm just trying to show people, don't want to believe me, then that's their business. But when you read my books, you hear it, say, no, this brother's too honest, it has to be real. So I forgive myself, innit? And that's the main thing. And so far, no beef has come to me. And if my books do pass in that way there, I know there's certain people who I have to peel off. I'm someone who couldn't like hardly read and write until like I've actually gone to like writing my own books, publishing them in myself, not knowing nothing about publishing and selling over 4,000 books. And some publishers ain't even going to do that for you. So basically, I'm just giving basically, it's like if you've gone through a bad experience in life and you get over it and come out on the other side, keeping that experience to yourself is a sin. What did you go for it for? You're meant to put that out there for others who are going for it or to stop others from going for it.
Right, so which one's your one you're signing?
Yeah, these are who am I signing to?
Joy. Adelie Gay.
Oh, just put the comment. Oh, go on. Spell it.
A-D-E-N-I-K-E.
Hold on, slow down. A-D-E. Yeah.
N-I-K-E.
M-I-K-E. Alright.
Devontae. D-E-V.
D-E-V. Go on.
A-N-T-E.
Alright, I got all here.
What I got, that's what I'm saying. I'll buy my book. See my book, I'll sell out. Alright.
No, they were just telling us that you're roundabout and, you know, then you turn up, so.
Joy?
Spirit, yeah?
Adelie Gay.
Boy! I'll never tons. So how do you spell your name?
A-D-E.
A-D-E.
N-I-K-E.
Sorry?
N-I-K-E.
N-I-K-E. And?
Shami.
Shami.
No, not me. Say the last one.
Okay.
Shami. S-H-A.
Yeah.
My name
Yeah.
is...
And you are Anne, isn't it? Anne.
No.
Is there any more after Devontae?
No, yeah.
Okay, so it's and Devontae. Spell. I like that name, you know. Devontae. Give me a 5, Devontae. Big man name.
You like my name?
Yes, your name's great. Fantastic.
For anyone who's going to watch this and wants the book, tell us all the places where the 2 books are going to be for us to get that.
Alright, so the books are on Amazon. They're on Kindle and paperback. And that's amazon.co.uk. And they're under the title of Different, Part 1. So Different and the word and the number 1, Part 1. But Different now is spelt with, as you can see, my Different is spelt with 1 E. Reason for that is when I got the tattoo in Brazil, 1 E got missed out, but it worked out good because it spelt different in a different way. So I just stuck with that name there. So when you go onto the site, when you go onto Amazon, when you type in Different, just remember the Different is spelt with 1 E, and you will see it come up for paperback or Kindle, and that's Different Part 1 and 2. Amazon.co.uk. And the book is also available on my website, which if you click the link to purchase the book will bring you straight through to Amazon again. And my website is Junior James Different, again spelt different, same way like that. So juniorjamesdifferent.com, and that will show you bits and pieces of what I've been doing and so forth, and where you can get the book from. On the road selling drugs, they call it trapping. Work is a trap. And if you've got your passion, work on, whether you got a passion that you just want to be a plumber, but don't think about being a plumber and working for a plumbing company. Think about opening your own plumbing company, employing people. Think of it, take it to the next level. And that's basically what I've been doing with my books. I go far and beyond. And it sometimes may look a bit weird. I've been in some places where books don't even sell, and I haven't sold no books, but just being out there and trying just trying to change yourself. And when people see you doing these things, you might not have a good day that day, but the next day can be, or you don't even know who clocked you. So my message is right now, I'm just trying to show the youth them is, work off your passion. Don't get trapped into this road life, because sooner or later, you will come around to thinking and talking like me and like enough other elders. It's long. It don't make it. So all I'm trying to do is save you some time and effort.
We'd like to big up Junior James for doing this interview, giving back something to the people out there, showing them that it ain't all roses out here. There's another side of it, and that's death or a prison cell. Yeah? Big up all the young youths out there that are doing positive, and listen to this man's story. Listen to what he's telling you, and make sure you keep yourself on the straight and narrow.